Hello boys and girls, Elias with another unboxing and review for you. It's a computer case this time. This is the Corsair Graphite Series 780T case. It's the black version. This case is made for water cooling. It's quite big. I'm not gonna unbox it and take out of the box, so I'm just gonna show you how in black bag that it comes. Just take it off. Ta-da! And here is the box itself. It's not so heavy compared to, for example, the 900D case. It's made mostly out of plastic. The outer parts are made out of plastic, and the internal structures mostly made of steel. So in the package we have this manual as well, so showing in details how and what you should do when you unbox this case. Just a few notes about the case, some information. The dimensions of this case are 640 millimeters long, then 600 millimeters tall, so it's 60 centimeters over half a meter tall, and 288 millimeters wide. So you can check these dimensions before buying it to see if it's going to fit your space. It also can accommodate different types of water cooling, different types of radiators, which we are going to see in more details now. So let's start with the front part, where we see this steel mesh, which if you push falls off, and then we have exposed the two 140 millimeters installed pre-installed fans that are working for intake. Then we also have two 5¼ inch bays for whatever reasons you might need them, for your DVD-ROM, for your water cooling reservoir. At the front you can install three 120 millimeter fans, two 140 which are already installed. You can install a 360 millimeter radiator, 240 millimeter radiator, or 120 or 140, whichever suits you more, with an additional fan here. As I said, it's for intake. The grill itself made of out of the metal. There is a dust filter here. It's nice to see that Corsair provides dust filter with this, because sometimes they don't provide it with some cases. And this part is something that I don't like very much, because it has a chip feeling to it and falls off quite easily. Once you touch it, it just falls off. So you should be careful not to accidentally pop it off. I think this is one of the reasons why they moved the buttons and everything to the top part. Let's proceed to the side panel, this side panel, where we have all the business end of our case. And here is a handle, which once you pull, this thing comes off. And here you have the window cutout, which is slightly tinted, slightly smoked. It sits on clips, so it's made out of plastic. The side panel itself is made out of steel. In the box we also have an accessory box with different tools, screws, and so on. So some zip ties, some motherboard screws, some fan screws, all you need, I'd say. The rest, the motherboard standoffs are already installed. Talking about the motherboards, this case can accommodate mini ATX, micro ATX, ATX, eATX, and XL ATX. So any type of motherboard you throw at it, it's gonna fit it in. And you have all these rubberized grommets around the case, around the motherboard, so you can nicely manage your cables. Here we have some cables for your front panel, the USB 3 20-pin connector, audio connector here, USB 2 front panel connectors, reset, power switch, LED, hard drive LEDs, and so on. And then we have a fan controller at the top of the case, which we're going to see, and we have some power for the fan controller and fans themselves, because we have some fan headers here, 5 of them, so you can connect 5 fans to the fan controller on top of the case. So here you have 6 hard drives, 2 cages, 3 each, so you can install 6 hard drives here, 3.5 inch or 2.5 inch. This is how the cage is. They are made of plastic with toolless ventilation pins here, so you can just drop your 3.5 inch. For 2.5 you have to screw it from the bottom. And then these cages are movable, so you can remove this cage and install it on top, or you can install another cage here if you have the need for more hard drives, or you can remove them all together and free the space for your radiators. If you are a water cooling person and you would like to water cool your case, then you can do that and remove these two, as well as the bottom plastic here, the base, because at the bottom of this case, I hope you can see it, you can install 220 millimeter fans here, or 240 millimeter radiator, or 120 millimeter radiator. So you can install another radiator here. Let's see the back side of the case. So here we have 9 PCI Express output slots, a pre-installed 140 millimeter fan. You can install a 120 millimeter fan here if you wish to do so, and you can have a radiator here at the back for your CPU, for example. So here is the input-output shield cutout. Here you have PCI Express slots, power supply cutout. Speaking about power supply, the maximum length of power supply you can install is 260 millimeters. So you need to measure before installing. And the power supply standoffs are rubberized, so it's nice to see that, because it's going to minimize the vibrations. The back panel also comes off as the other side, easily made of steel. Here you have the large CPU fan cutout, so you can easily install your aftermarket coolers. You see, it comes off, as I said. Also, you have the cable routing here at the back, so you have some placings here, so you can zip tie keep the cables to make them more clean. You have 3 cages for your 2.5 inch SSDs, so you can take an SSD and slide it in, and it's gonna stay in place. You can just slide it in and it's gonna click and stay very well, pretty solid here. If you have the need, screw it with the screws included in the accessories, and you can put it back. So you have your SSDs at the back of your cage, where you will not have the need to access them so oftenly. You can also route your water cooling tubes at the back from here. That's pretty much it about the back side of this case. One more thing is that you can fit a thick tubing or a lot of cables here, so it's around 2.5 centimeters space here between the back side of your motherboard tray and the side panel. Okay, this leads us to the top part of this case, where we have start-stop button here, the fan controller, 2 USB 2, 2 USB 3, your reset button, microphone and headphone. Nothing extraordinary here, apart from the fan controller, which some might like, some might not. Okay, and this grill comes off same way as the front one does. You just click and it comes off. Also made of steel, the mesh, and then we have a dust filter, and here we can fit up to 360 millimeter radiator, or 240 or 120 if we wish to do so. And we can also install two 140mm fans here. We have a lot of space here for long custom radiator, and because the space from here to the motherboard top part, it's around 7 centimeters, 7 to 8. So you can fit a thick radiator with the fan at the bottom for push or at the top for pull, whichever you prefer. Ideally, we can install 1, 2, 3 radiators in this case, two 360mm radiators and one 240 at the bottom, which by any standards is very good, because there are not many cases that so many options. So at the bottom we have two dust filters. It's very amazing to see these dust filters provided by Corsair, because Corsair usually does not provide this kind of dust filters with their cases. Carbide Series 540 is an example, bad example, but in any case. So they can also be easily removed, one from the front, the other one from the back, for easier cleaning. And here you can see that we can install the radiator here, 240mm as I said, or the fans. And we have the mesh here, so you can have your power supply as well, you know, sucking in from down part for better cooling, since we have the dust filter included. So it's going to be pretty clean in this case. And we also have rubberized fits for your case, which is gonna minimize the vibration or make it smoother for you if you have it on your desk, for example. So this pretty much wraps up our review of this case. It's nice for people that want to water cool their case, their components. Tons of options for all of you. It comes in two colors, black and white, so whichever you prefer. It's nicely made, apart from some, you know, design flaws, that, for example, this front part, which I did not like very much myself. But the rest are well made, and it also looks very nice. It's one of the best looking cases in Corsair's lineup, for me at least. And it's not so expensive, so I can recommend it to most of the people wanting a good case for water cooling setup. If you're looking for an air-cooled setup, it's still good. You can install tons of fans in here for exhaust and intake and so on. But in general, I can recommend this case to anyone wanting to create a new setup with good performing stuff in it. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, click that like button. Subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more videos like these and help us to improve and provide more content. Thanks again. See you again later.